via live.
Oh, great.
Excellent. Uh, Hello and welcome to Isle of Gaming. It's Monday. It's time for Dungeons and Dragons. Once again, technical difficulties in Dragons has led us being a little bit late. We apologize for that. Uh, we are uploading these streams once again to YouTube under the Isle of Gaming banner. So just look for our little line art D20 with the red one. That's how you know it's us. We horribly incompetent fools. I'm your dungeon master, Cullum Coleman. Today, Aaron is Gareth as the warlock. Caleb is Torren as the cleric. Gwendolyn is Robin as the wizard. And Justin is Rockchild as the bard. Together, they are the Knaves of Venzor. And it's so good to have a full house in here again, just in time for more research and reading and academia.
Guys, it's just like real life with us.
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be our escape from reality.
No, it's a trap. Before we dive into all of that, though, and add some mercy to Aaron's poor mind, we do have a few announcements. Number one, this month, on the last Monday of the month, the 27th, we will not be having our session. There will be no game that week, so it's going to be a bye week for us. Everyone can rest up and worry about what happens to their characters. The other announcement we'd like to have is in celebration of Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. On the 20th of March, we will not be having our regular session, but will instead have a one-shot, an all-rogues heist. We'll feature the very first guest appearance on our show, so tune in to see who that might be. And that's what we have for announcements this lovely week. So without further ado, let's get into Dungeons and Dragons. As some of you may remember, the Knaves entered the Chancellery of the Grand City of Eaverness, and from there, the record halls, a massive, mile-sized subterranean catacomb of dusty ledgers and ledgers and ledgers, and somehow even more ledgers. But this did not stop the Knaves from being entertained, for on the way in, they got to ask an archivist a few questions about the Hydra of Syrax, whose statue is poised just outside the entryway to these archives. The Knaves got to finally put names to and faces to the seven heads of the Hydra: Mother Ethel, Cordian Dacios, Don John Zaman, Soren Athon, Meeklis the Small, Chavin the Cruel, and Tyrell Tunder. Once below, the Knaves were left to their own devices, nearly destroying part of the library at some points. And for the most part, having some interesting bits of luck sussing out various pieces of information. The biggest discoveries being made by Robin and Rockchild. Robin, who discovered a memory crystal, a very potent and somewhat dangerous form of keeping and recollecting memories directly from the person who experiences them. And Rockchild's wonderful little trick of, you got to actually have the first conversation a knave has had with a god, like an actual full-length conversation, not just a little bit of a tidbit. When he met with Miratides, the kobold goddess of oaths, a minor sainted deity who came in response to his prayer to Eldris. Thoughts were exchanged, nervous looks held around, and an ominous warning not to trust the servants of Malele, the goddess of passion, were given shortly before she left. We will pick up now right about there. The Knaves are all scattered about in the various catacombs of records. What would any of you like to do?
Pretend I did not make that mess.
which technically you didn't.
Yep.
What mess? I don't see a mess.
So, can I wander back to where the party was and inform them of my interaction?
Certainly, the party's kind of scared about various parts here, but like it's you wandered the furthest off out of anyone, so it's not too hard to just sort of start waving everyone down as you move through the catacombs.
I have Robin on my shoulders, and I'm asking them to find me a book on how to pickpocket.
Brilliant.
Yes.
I will be searching for that. I will speak it into the scroll, which I now just have in my back pocket.
Yeah, you just have the scroll here.
Explore it a little
you
bit.
speak it. You speak it into the scroll. Nothing lights up. It does not seem that the archival records of Venzor have anything on how to pickpocket people.
All right, I'm going to ask into it a record of famous thieves of Venzor.
Right. Famous thieves. Interesting. All right, that's something.
So we can look up names and then find memoirs. They might have some tips and tricks. Okay.
See if you can find blueprint of the Ailish Manor.
Right.
The one in the city.
Ailish Manor schematics.
All right.
I'm gonna put that in there.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. Evens or odds from Robin, and high or low from Torren.
Odds.
High
odds. Here we go. Ooh. The records seem unusually sparse. When you speak these words in, that was a 16. That was low even. Unfortunate. Unusually sparse. There aren't really a lot of. I know what you're looking for, and I'm not going to give it to you. There is no Unabomber memoir.
God damn it.
I know what you guys are looking for with this. I'm not going to give it to you on the 16. But what does strike you as odd is Ailish, major house, noble, long roots in Venzor. Those of you who are around Caspian or who have lived on the island your life, you know enough to understand that. There should be records of them in here. There are no records of House Ailish, of its manners. It is almost as if someone has painstakingly removed every reference to them.
Damn, so like actual rich people in today's world wiping themselves from the internet.
Basically. Elon Musk does not want you to follow his plane.
So follow Elon Jet and all the social medias.
Stop! I'm not prepared to go to war with a billionaire.
Did you see his stupid indestructible car?
Oh,
I mean, if all
one?
things are on track, he'll go from billionaire to millionaire in no time.
Thanks to Twitter.
Alright, so this library has nothing interesting. So where's everybody else? Ah, yes.
I mean, don't you find it interesting that there are no Ailishes in this place? Can I pick out the stone and like try to ask for assistance, or are they still picking up the mess of books?
If you would, there's people over there still picking. Rockchild brought down an entire shelf. They're gonna be there a while.
Okay, cool.
They're in the vicinity as it is.
Then I'm gonna look down to Torren and be like, perhaps we should ask one of the attendants to see if there's anything Ailish in this library, or why there isn't anything when we ask the scroll.
Yes. I'll go.
Okay.
Yes. Do you have anything on the Ailishes?
One of the archivists who is over there just sort of dusts himself off a little bit, and just kind of like, you'd have to mostly ask the scroll for it. If it doesn't come up, it's either the wrong keyword or maybe there's nothing currently in. Records do sometimes leave this establishment for various um, government inquests and committees and such.
Is someone investigating the Ailish household, as there seems to be no Ailish records available?
I wouldn't know anything about any of that. If there are no records, it's entirely possible that they are all currently out, or that there were none here to begin with. We do keep records of a lot of things. However, you probably notice most of it seems to relate to, general governance. If you're looking for a specific house, you might be able to find something digging through various heraldries or government postings. If they were someone important, they might be listed in there. But
They know who the Ailishes are, right? Though.
Lord Mortimer Ailish is the current head of the household, and you know that an ancestor of his made a deal with. No, that's where you burned it down. Made a deal with Marith, son of Drakkar, Lord of the Seventh Hell. Granted to a Lorgus Ailish, a devil contract. So you know the name. You know that there was once Sir Lorgus Ailish, and you know that the current Ailish is Mortimer Ailish.
All right. So I'll speak into the scroll. Mortimer Ailish.
Ding 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 ding. Like you sense the system straining itself in the attempt to like serve you. There is there a light does go on in posts and appointments.
All right, we shall go over there and find it.
No, I don't want that. So wrong things coming up at the wrong time.
Oh, good.
Here we are. There is a you dig through the records. Give me either of you give me a history check. You can give the other advantage if you would like.
I have a +5. What do you have?
Go for it.
All right.
So give an advantage to Robin.
All right. How do I make it roll with advantage?
On the character sheet.
So on the character sheet, you should automatically be rolling with advantage, or if you're not, in the upper right-hand side, under where it will like have your level and alignment, there should be like advantage, disadvantage type thing. There should be a toggle.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Yeah, it's either automatic or it has a toggle. Nat 20.
Nat 20 with advantage. 25.
All right. Let's see. One thing I didn't have pulled up to prepare. Let's see. Player character backstories. Here we go.
Got you, Caleb.
Don't want balls are wrong. I want.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right. This is gonna be So let's see. So Lord Mortimer Ailish.
What's up?
He is a human male, mid to late 50s. And he is currently has an appointment as one of the advisors to a member of the Council of Eight. I believe yes, I do believe that he advises I believe Kovac Gint, the spy master. You
Of
can correct me
course
if
he
I'm
would.
wrong on that, Caleb, as we are talking about someone related to a dead character's backstory.
It's the goddamn pan.
So it says that Mortimer has held this position since he's held this position for 12 years, since 241. And that's really all it has to say about him.
Ah, good work, child.
Robin will beam with pride.
Um,
Well, maybe we should look up in the heraldry too.
Nah, I think that's good enough.
Torren, at this moment, I'm gonna ask you for a bit of a charisma save.
Is this for Danja?
Charisma save.
No, this is not for Danja.
This is for Don John, but I'm not gonna tell you till you damn roll. So roll.
Oh,
I want to tell you till you roll, so just roll the damn dice.
How's it
that's
usually a wisdom?
that's an 8.
No, it's charisma for Don John taking over on Torren. It's wisdom for Rockchild resisting the blackening.
Oh, right.
Which the blackening has come up a lot more frequently as we've had days where not a lot has happened. So what'd you get?
What happens if we
8.
speak that way?
I did not pass.
No, you did not pass. You feel Don John's presence well up into your consciousness. And you sort of like see sort of a double overlay. There's what was there in front of you a minute ago. Then there's sort of almost this place as it was. Smaller, darker. The shelves look mostly the same, but there's a lot less on them. A lot of just seemingly empty space, and there's just sort of a urge, go left. And Torren, you just sort of begin walking off in a direction.
Can I speak to Don, like, in my head?
What do you want to say?
I would have gone if you just would have given me directions. How about we get the rest of the folks?
This is unnerving. I need a minute. Have to find the right way in. Leave it to them to change everything and make it look the same as it was.
All right. Well, why don't you find it, and when it is done, at least gather the rest of the friends, so we can enter unanimously.
Is he walking as Torren?
Torren is basically just turned did like a 90-degree turn on his heel and just started, wandering off in a direction.
Cool. I'm gonna follow him. Like Robin's gonna follow him.
Well, Robin is on my shoulders, so you are following.
Oh, perfect. I'm just along for the ride.
He's just going for a weird ride.
It's exciting.
Yeah. He comes to a one of these spaces for reading, where they have the tables out there. Not unlike the one that Rockchild found himself in. And he just stops. He just sort of looks, and he just, kind of looks over everything. And he's just going. He just sort of thinks, puts his hand on a chair, gives it a little jiggle. It's stuck in place. And Robin, you can swear you see Torren smile as he reaches down onto the chair and just sort of pulls the center part of it up, like the center part of like the back of a chair. He just reaches into the middle and just lifts like part of the backing of the chair up.
Ooh, secret compartment.
And he goes, and with that, he's able to drag the chair and the floor panel under it out of the way.
Okay. I'm going to assume Don John led you to a secret compartment. As I kind of like tap Torren's head.
Ow. It's not Torren's voice. Not quite, anyway.
Oh, Don John, what did we find?
Ah, that was the sneeze. Oof. Ow.
Welcome to the chamber of the Hydra.
Ooh. And then I'm going to call out to everyone. We found something. Please come to our...
Roll to attract archivists. I'm kidding. You guys are all able to hear Robin calling out.
Let's say, I feel like the archivist would avoid us being like, oh my god, please tell me they didn't break another shelf.
Yeah. You all are
How
able
far
to...
am I from Robin at this point? Because I'm coming back.
Yeah. You're coming back. I'd say it's on your way back, so, you know, probably not too far out. Like, you hear it in the distance. Maybe, you know, you were half a mile out, so you're probably about 200, 300 feet off.
Okay. I'll
As
go
you sort of-
meander over.
Yeah, meander over.
I'll head over too.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
want to
it's-
tell everyone about what I just experienced.
Yeah.
This place is
Yeah.
horrible.
In short while, you all gather at the entrance, and Torren, you feel a presence sort of turn inwards towards you and goes, "The archives of the Hydra, as promised."
You could have just like. I mean, like, there is a thing called a GPS. You could have just given me a voice. It's fine. It's okay.
It's like Siri in his head.
Yes. So, what did we all find?
Well, I spoke to a god.
Oh, have you been drinking from my flask?
No, Kirimiku still refuses to speak to me. We're not on speaking terms yet. I'm still working on it. No, I left a little prayer to Eldris in the chapel, and well, he didn't show up, but Meritides, a kobold, showed up.
Is that why you knocked over the shelf?
No. This was actually well after that, believe it or not. The shelf was, I was just super clumsy. I knocked him over. Look, I'm not used to confined spaces like this, but...
Are you sure you have not been drinking from my flask?
No, and, so, a few interesting things happened. One, my family died over 1,000 years ago.
But you look so young.
What's your skincare routine?
Yes.
Thanks for asking. I have started my own brand new skincare routine.
Check out our new historical humans line.
Yeah,
Skincare
rock.
products.
Yeah, it's rock skincare. It'll sell like nothing.
You'll still smell manly while having skin as smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yes,
We are not Old Spice. We are not Old Spice.
I-
I'm not doing this.
I don't know what...
One rides a horse.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
what
true.
happened, but,
About
yes,
a horse.
apparently it's been about 1,000 years since my family was slaughtered, and yeah, the kobold that I met was wearing the uniform of the people who killed me. I think it's safe to say the cult of Eldris was the one behind my family's slaughter. And also,
this archive is full of all kinds of things, guys.
oh, also, Torren, remember that priest that helped heal me?
Yes.
I was given express advice not to trust them, and that they're actually bad actors, and that they know about my little, point to my head, problem.
Wait, hold on a second. Does that mean they already know about it? Like, as in,
Yes.
they already know about the thing on the island?
Yes. Actually,
Which god? Which followers?
I spoke to Meritites, and they're the followers of. I don't remember them.
So Meritides warned you to stay away from the followers of Malele, the god of passion.
Yeah.
On account that you may have pissed her off.
By bringing that into her temple.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oops. Yeah, well, it was Torren's idea, but they're not going to ask those kinds of details.
Well, you know, Medusa didn't ask me brought to the temple of Athena, and you know what happens.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe
That's
the
a
wording of the
completely
wording
random one, but
was,
okay.
she's the goddess of passion, and that can mean a lot of things.
Like zealotry.
So, I don't know quite what to do. She did explain that kobolds are a traditionally more peaceful groups, but that, in certain fervent moments that they can gather large amounts of passion with forsaken promises.
Forsaken?
Dead.
Are you telling me this god led zealous kobolds to destroy your village?
Yes, and then apparently really screwed them over. I think he
Why do
damned
these
them
people
all to
worship
hell.
him? Why do people worship him then? Sounds like a dick.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. So,
Explains
think
why
I
you
need to
go
kill
to
him.
chaos.
That's fair, but why would you worship a god of chaos in a pantheon like that?
well, he isn't ascended, so he was merely a mortal who gathered the power, so... I don't know. Cruel figures gather power. I mean, that's how we see the rise of dictators. Not always the best people rise to the top.
Yeah,
Must
some
have had
people tend
lots
to
of charisma.
Some of them have inheritance.
Although, to be fair, he was the first of the pantheon. What a curious
questionable.
character.
That's very questionable.
No, that's like the actual lore, isn't it? That he was the first of the pantheon.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's
Oh, yeah.
questionable.
Yeah. Supposedly he was the first of the gods to gather in recognition of the threat of the Blackening. Who knows what story hook lies there and why that might be.
Yeah.
We found a hidden chamber.
Oh,
And I point to the hidden chamber.
Right. So
Actually,
who
can
wants
we
to go
talk
into
to
the scary
Donjon?
dungeon chamber? He was just here.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not good
no,
for him to keep
I'll-
going in
I'll-
and out.
I didn't realize that Donjon
No,
was
it's
gone
okay.
again.
I'll page him through. Dungeon.
I feel like this isn't good for you, just like he can't see color anymore.
Yes, no. I'm just talking to him. I'm not bringing him out. I'm just talking to him.
Okay.
And
we're
I
playing
will
telephone.
mediate.
Yeah.
It's dungeon.
Yeah. What are you trying to say to him?
So Donjon, well, you and Torren were communing with Kiramikus last week. We discovered something quite interesting. You were quite the powerful mage, huh? And you were one of the first to help tame the wilderness, correct?
As I told you when we first met, I am the father of Chronergy on Venzor, Lord over time.
He says that he is the best mage of time magic.
Very.
Because
See,
we
here's the
ended up
version.
finding out a little bit of his backstory, which was kind of interesting. We learned about the different mages and other creatures that help tame the wilderness.
Yep, the Hydra of Syrax. That was our stated purpose.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm gonna
Come below.
bend over while I'm on Torren's shoulder and be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I found this really cool rock." So hold on, let me pull it up so that I actually know what I'm talking about.
Dungeon says yes. There is more information on the Hydra of Syrax in the
The
room.
actual records room.
Yeah, in the actual records room. You have rock?
So I found a memory node that it relives recollections and whatnot, and it was about Ethel, and that they already knew about the darkness, and that she had gathered all the heads of the covens in the forest to protect against it, but that didn't really work out. So we should ask Don John, you know, how
Wait, so
well
there
he
was
got on
more
with
people
Ethel.
who knew?
Yeah.
Robin
So
relayed
everybody
that to
just
the
knows
problem.
and they're not doing anything.
Well, no, she tried to do something, but she was trying to contain, basically quarantine the darkness. But, you know, their magic could only do so much. There was like a waypoint blocking to traverse into the forest so that no one would get infected. But it was never enough.
Then can I look at Torren and Donjon? Like, just I want to look through Torren and like at Donjon. So just 1,000 miles stare into the eyes and go, that's the reason you tried killing me, isn't it? Or you keep telling Torren to kill me is because of the darkness.
You are breaching the seal, and you have spread. Kill the orc.
Can't he, I don't know, can't he like go to a clinic or something?
Can you just like seal on top of me? Can I wear like a fishbowl?
All
there
will be
any-
revealed below.
Aren't
So
there
there's just
any,
no-
like,
Let's just go down.
okay. Alright, let's go down.
I imagine the call like hangs up, or like you get the dial tone, just be.
The call is coming from inside your head. It screams.
Wait, why is Donjon FaceTiming me?
Yeah. All right. So you head down.
Yes.
All right. Who is the first person to head down?
I'll probably go first, but I will take the child off.
Aww.
I
All
don't
right.
want you to be. Who knows what's down here? So
Not wearing your backpack down?
Okay, I'll go second then.
All right. So you head down. As you descend, it is you almost choke on the air. It
Ooh.
is
Gross.
a century or more of dust, and basically you just popped open a tomb. Kind of feel like, it's just, this has been like hermetically sealed for a very long time. Yeah. So
Really?
it's dry, it's musty. Your footsteps feel like they just echo unnaturally. As you head down, there is a little bit sort of like, stage theater lights, at the base of the steps, sort of illuminating each lip of the step as you go down, so you don't like kill yourselves.
Ooh, fancy. They spent money on this.
You descend for a little while, and you notice that as you descend, above you, it's not floor or ceiling, it's not stone or wood, but above you is solid lead. This place was meant to be something that could almost certainly never be scryed on. It's a hidden place where no one can see what happens.
I'm gonna stop real quick.
Okay.
Do you-
Dun, dun, dun.
Wait, do you hear that?
The sound of silence.
No, listen.
Darkness,
Do you hear that?
friend.
That's perfect for you.
Can I do a perception check as
Sure,
I'm
do it.
concentrating
Voices.
on, everything?
Mhm.
I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy, and ominous whispers will be.
Okay. 22. Do I realize what's happening?
22. You hear a weird whispering sound. I'll say with a 22 perception, can I get a sleight of hand from Torren?
Oh baby, something Torren's good at. It's natural 1. Fuck.
The guy in front of you is.
Yeah, I'm miming with my hands, just like.
Yeah, he's like, can we have enough theatrics, please? Is the voice in your head as you're hunched over doing the evil puppeteer noises.
All right, cool.
Oh,
I'm
there's
gonna
people
take
talking.
my arcane staff and I'm just gonna whack him slightly with it and be like, Torren, not right now. It's a spooky cave. And then I'm gonna focus to see if there's anything else that I can perceive or see down these steps and hallways.
With the 22, it's very, very dimly lit, like to the point of almost being actual darkness.
Brilliant.
You do see that at the bottom there is it widens out just a little bit for a pair of impressive solid oak double doors. The knockers, that serve as handles, is they're dragon heads. They're held by dragon heads, little silver dragon heads.
Oh, cool.
It's a very fancy door.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell them to knock it off, and then I'm gonna now let's head towards those dragon heads, and then just kind of walk past him.
All right. Do you open the door?
I shall attempt to.
Make me a strength check. Tiny child.
It's something I'm terrible at. Wait, a strength check, okay.
Yeah, just roll strength.
Let's go. -4. Let's go.
I was gonna laugh if that was the actual roll was -9. Ding, ding. You break the seal, but it's like you moved it an inch. This door weighs a ton and it hasn't been maintained in a century or more.
I'm like, please, someone say
I'm going to help.
All right, roll strength. Yep.
Oh god, just strength check.
Yeah, just straight strength check. Nothing fancy here. This is just muscles.
8.
You did worse than me.
You hear something click, and it's your back. You're stuck like this. Does anyone else want to help them?
Locke,
I'll give it a shot. Jesus Christ.
Locke, can you fix my back?
I got you.
You're gonna have that. He asked
he
for
get
the
the
whole
helping action because we're all trying to pull on the door?
I'm just gonna make them roll for it. It's too funny at this point.
So
You said it's a strength.
Yeah, just strength. Yep.
14.
14. You walk
Oh,
up.
sorry,
to the other
16
door.
total. Sorry, I forgot to add the
16.
2.
You walk up to the other door. And it opens.
You're all sad, you know this, right?
Robin's gonna go. It's good that it was a team effort, yeah?
I'm just gonna
Okay, I
sit there and
understand
go
you,
like, Gareth,
because you're
why'd
a
you just
young
walk
child.
past me? Like you just, they asked for my help and you just walked past.
No, Locke,
Oh,
child, I need you to fix my back, please.
Can I
Please
pick
pop.
Torren up and like crack his back?
Sure. Roll a medicine check. This is just for the fun, just to see if you do this with any sense of
Yeah,
intelligence.
17.
All right, you actually do this sensibly and don't just Heimlich an old man.
I imagine that's a trick we did in the circus, like to help flexibility before performances.
Boy.
Or just to avoid paying a doctor's bill when someone got hurt.
Look, we don't
That's
talk
not
about
broken.
that.
Ah!
Ah,
Oh.
looks fine.
I feel 10 years younger.
Rub some dirt on it.
So I'm only 82 today.
I'll look at Torren and I go, I guess this makes me the old man of the party.
Don't you fucking take this from me.
I'm sorry. Speak to me when you're over 1,000 years old.
Oh.
Be careful how you address me, young man.
You know, back in my day, we used to respect our elders.
That is kind of weird because that also means I predate the Blackening, which is kind of neat.
Maybe that means you have some sort of resistance.
Or the-
Time traveler.
Mhm.
I'm
If you
not-
go back in time, and if you were to go back in time and like create a paradox with the blackening, you could put it in a forever infinite loop that can never truly escape from.
Actually, Aaron, I know how to fix it.
Blackening, I've come to bargain.
Yes, so I want to go to the blackening with a
Are
bag of
you gonna
holding.
Doctor Strange this shit?
No, I'm gonna
Oh
put
my
I'm
god!
gonna put a
I thought
bag
that's
of
what you were
holding
going for.
inside of a bag of holding and throw it into the blackening.
Trying to create a black hole void within the void. That could be interesting.
Hey,
I mean,
I've not considered what that could do.
just
I
build out a
mean,
whole
it
new
could-
universe, a new.
I don't
bookend.
even know if that would work. It'd be fun
I feel
to
like that would
try.
just make it worse.
I
I feel
think
like
it'd
we're
be
pulling
fun.
another Lauren with the Inator.
Well, they don't know the backstory. Gwen.
Oh, I know the
True.
backstory, but fucking
But then
Christ.
y'all know what I'm saying.
Okay, so Gareth, as you open the door and enter the room, this place you realize you've gone down a bit further than you may have realized, and because the chamber is massive, like vaulted 20-foot ceilings, kind of massive.
Yeah.
Stone pillars rise up to support the roof. At the it's pretty dark, but as you step in, little crystals, sconces, little scones in the wall just sort of begin to ignite. Most of them don't, but enough of them do to provide some semblance of light.
Can I throw fire at them to make them light up?
You throw fire. What do you do to throw fire at the lights?
Just yelled. I mean, I could do.
Reduce
wait.
flame is a
Yeah.
cantrip I have. I can just throw fire.
You cast produce flame on top of one of the lights. Does
Wait, are
produce
they like
flame-
light bulbs or are they like things that light on fire?
They're like glowing rocks. It's glowstone.
Oh, never mind. I thought it would have meant like torches.
Yeah, no. I'm talking like someone put the glow in the dark dice in the walls to make light.
He's in the walls.
Oh,
He's in the goddamn walls.
Yeah.
the wow.
In the center, you see a three-sided table. What's interesting is two sides each have 4 chairs, and the side furthest from you is the table points towards you, and the flat side furthest from you has no chairs.
Like some Last Supper kind of shit, man.
I'm going
You
to
can't see beyond the
immediately
table.
walk over there and investigate.
All right, roll your investigation check.
Nope, that's intimidation.
I intimidate the chair.
Then that's 20. The chair is very intimidated. It does not want to be sat on by you.
Nat 20! What?
All right, so,
23!
I'm going to describe several things. As you walk forward, you notice a number of things in here. Number one, between the pillars, there are in fact stacks, sort of shelves almost of those memory crystals. Almost all of them look different than the one you saw upstairs. The one you saw upstairs had a little bit of a light, sort of like a blue sort of vibrancy to it.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are dark. Sort of like either they're empty or whatever magic powers them is currently not running through them. There are a few that do have some small glow to it. And there are a few images on some of the pillars and walls that sort of flicker as you approach. But before you can look at any of those, you stop dead in your tracks about 10, 15 feet forward from the group.
Okay.
Because now you're far enough ahead, you can see behind the empty side of the table with no chairs, in the darkness there, you see the reason why this chamber is so big. You see laid to rest the skeleton of an ancient silver dragon. Its skull protrudes towards you. It's like you almost like jump back, like, you expect it to get up, but it's just a skeleton. Yeah. You see before you the final resting place of Cyrax III, first king of Venzor.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, gee, Rick.
All
Don
right.
John. Oh,
How interesting. Robin is gonna stop, taken aback by what they're all looking at, and then like hesitate for a second to make sure that the dragon won't get back up, because you know what, necromancy's a thing.
one
as
of the
we
seven
have found
heads.
out.
One of the seven heads of the Hydra of Syrax was a necromancer.
Exactly. So they're gonna pause, and they're going to walk. I don't know whether to check the memory stones or to investigate the skeleton.
I will go to the memory stones. I want to have a gander at them.
Yeah, I want to look at the skeleton.
All right. First I'm gonna. Okay. Can I do an Arcana check on the dark ones?
Sure, you may do an Arcana check on the dark ones. And who was going to the? Sorry, what did you two say you're doing? Gareth, Rockchild.
I want to go to the memory crystal.
I want
Alright,
to
so
check
you're
out
on-
the skeleton.
Skeleton. All right. So Arcana 7. You don't know why they're dark. Just that they probably shouldn't be.
Okay, then I'm gonna go to the light ones and pick them up and try to activate them.
All right. While you're doing that, you Torren, there's sort of a moment of stillness where you don't really move. You can sense a deep sorrow. And then in your head you hear, so this is what happened to him after it all failed.
I don't understand.
We died. This is what became of our king.
But shouldn't he be in the graveyard, or people didn't know that he was here?
I didn't. I died before him, or should have.
Okay, that is...
But time conquers all. I don't know. This was his greatest accomplishment. I suppose they buried him here, or maybe he just simply never left.
What do you mean never
kept-
left?
Just kept waiting for one of us to come back. I don't know. When we went into the forests, none of us made it out. I doubt any of you will either.
Okay, maybe try positive affirmations.
I am literally staring at the corpse of my friend.
Yes, but we were not friends with him, so...
Fuck
I mean,
you.
yes.
Fuck you.
No, what I am saying is, let us not give up hope before we even begin.
Plus, necromancy does exist. We could revive him.
Oh,
There's something very unsettling about that. Rockchild, what are you doing with the bones?
I just want to investigate. Is there a specific cause of death? Are there anything suspicious about it? Is there any clues?
Yeah. Sure. Roll investigation.
Yeah, 5.
5. You're careful not to touch any of them for fairly obvious reasons. As far as you can see, there is no sign of like severe trauma. Like like it's not like the skull was smashed in. But beyond that, you don't really know. You don't really see too much that could give give any real indicator. Um. Uh. Gareth, you were doing something with was it the
Memory
the,
crystals.
the memory crystals? Was it the ones on the shelf, like Robin, or are you going for the stuff on the columns, on the pillars?
I think it's the one. Sorry, can you repeat that?
So there were a bunch of crystals on the shelves, most of which appear to be inactive.
Yeah.
And there were also several sort of images on the pillars that were between the shelves.
Oh yeah.
Do you go for the images on the pillars? Do you go for the crystals on the shelves? Like
Crystals on the shelves.
They're kind of like all in the same spots, which is why I'm asking, A or B. All right. All right. So you and Robin both go for the crystals. Robin, you're picking up the nearest like glowing one and trying to activate it. Gareth, what are you doing?
So they're inactive, right? But
Most of them are. Like some seem to have sort of a vibrancy to them, like they're sort of a blue-ish color, whereas the others are darker, more of a more like a darker, more navy purple.
I want to check. I want to check those ones out.
All right, so you're gonna. All right, so roll an investigation check on or an Arcana check on the darkened ones.
I'll call it Arcana.
Yeah.
Better than a
then-
7.
Yeah,
I got a flat 10.
flat 10.
Well, it was better than a 7.
In theory, someone with enough power could activate these. It'd be quite the strain, but no reason not to do it. Robin, as Gareth is assessing that that someone could probably with enough magical talent turn these on, you just pick up the first one, right? You just pick up one and try and activate. All right, you.
Should I roll Arcana, or are you just gonna let me do it?
No, you just you turned it on. You just did it.
Okay, cool.
It was one. It's you picked up one of the blue ones, not one of like the purplish ones.
Yeah.
So you picked it up. It activates. It said it activates on contact. You get the following. There's no visual. You get the sense that you're sort of lying on the ground. Sort of your legs under you. You're sort of lying there. You're propped up by your hands. You can't. Your hand's not more than a foot from your face. You can feel it crunched into the snow. But you can't see the snow. You can't see it. You can't see anything. You hear a shuddering breath and just static all around you. It's so cold. I can see stars dancing like snowflakes in a blizzard. I see the world before it came. Before seems like such a dream. It has to be real. Everything can't be darkness. And it just evolves into laughter for like half a minute, and you just feel the unhinged mind on the other end of this recording. And it's all you can do not to drop the crystal as you're shunted back out of this fragment of a memory.
Do I recognize either of the voices or the voice?
You do not.
Okay, so that knocks 2 people out. Technically 3 people.
It's It's really quite horrifying. It's like,
Right.
it's-
Robin's gonna. Well, that one's a bit weird. Don't touch that one, and then I'm gonna pick up the next one.
I want to go in.
uh,
No. That one's a bit insane.
yeah, sure.
No, I want to go into that. I want to go into the one of them at least.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can pick it up too. Like it's not a one-use kind of thing.
Can I pick up that one? I want to touch that one. The one that you have.
You
The one that I just set down.
No, the one that you just picked up. Sorry, I thought you picked another one up. My bad.
Oh, I was going to go
You
pick
want-
another one.
basically Gareth wants to go into the second one.
I want to
Okay.
go into a thing.
Okay.
All right. So Gareth goes into the second one. As Gareth begins to delve in, Robin, you and Gareth have been here long enough that while Gareth is in this one, you notice there's a label on this shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It reads Testimonies of the Blackening.
Oh.
Gareth! You hear a low, terrified whisper. It's coming from you, but it is not your voice. You're in some sort of small room. There's a light in the center of it. It's not more than a wash closet, really. But the light can barely extend beyond its like central hanging torch. Like, what should illuminate this room blindingly is, basically a firefly dancing in the night.
Hmm.
And the terrified whisper goes as follows. It's not conscious. I realize that now. Everything it's done has been a purely autonomic response. Doesn't that just make it worse? It's not even thinking, not even trying, and it's outsmarted us. But maybe that means it can be beaten. There's no strategy to it, just instinct and such raw power. And you watch as your eyes have been fixated on this light the whole time. You watch as just shadow consumes the light. And then you are shunted out.
Robin's gonna tap
I'll
on
remember.
Garrett's shoulder and be like, "So maybe shouldn't go through all of these." And they're gonna point to the testimonials of the Blackening that's labeled on the shelf.
Mhm.
To be fair, despite how disturbing that was, I did find some useful information.
Well, that's good.
It's not a creature. It is definitely a creature, but it doesn't think. It's like an animal. And you know what animals have? Predators.
Robin's gonna look a little offended as Rune is still like on their staff, like that they can talk to them.
That's a good
That's a
meaning.
predator. Which
It's like-
means
Animal, it's like an animal. Animals can think.
let's not go into that one. I mean it acts on instinct. It doesn't have a higher level of consciousness to like practice magic or anything. Anything that it's doing is perfectly natural to it. So it's like a creature. It's alive.
So you're saying it's basically like it's on autopilot.
Kinda, yeah. It's just doing what comes natural to it.
So it's not a malicious force. It's just doing.
It's quite literally a predator. It actually, I guess in our case, an invasive predator. So there are no natural predators to this predator, I guess.
Well, it is an all-consuming blackness. I wouldn't say. So you're saying it acts on instinct, that it doesn't think, but a predator does think.
Well, I mean, it's more of an instinctual kind of thing. Instinctual rather than critical thinking, you know what I mean?
Would you say it's more like the way a fungus will infect things? It's just growing and consuming it rather than having strategy in
Ooh, yeah, that seems
invade.
more. Uh, Given from what this testimony said, yeah, that actually kind of fits it.
I did just watch Last of Us not that long ago. So
Yeah.
like, this is-
Yeah.
Fun
Funny
fact-
enough, I was thinking of just the fungi that thing's based off of.
yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact: when I was designing this, just little DM notes here. I was thinking of basing it off of like a jellyfish almost, where it's like the jellyfish stingers will continue to stab you after the jellyfish is dead. Just like it's just purely if anything comes in contact with the jellyfish's stingers, it
Yep.
like that was the inspiration. But yeah, The Last of Us.
Well, I mean, like they also kind of operate. Jellyfish are probably as old as, are actually younger than fungi, but I guess same concepts there. They don't require the body acts on its own. It's it's reacting to stimuli.
But yeah.
Oh,
but the-
When you
Yeah,
first told
little
me about the
DM.
blackening, my first thing was, oh my gosh, Galactus?
Yeah.
Now it's
Well,
more just like
they're gonna
The
interdimensional
Galactus
fungus.
jellyfish.
hey,
It's like it's all consuming of things.
hey,
So we
Dungeon.
actually like thinks through stuff. Okay. Now that we've been aware that these are testimonials, I don't really feel like going through constant insanity. Can I take a gander at the images on the columns?
Certainly. But first, what did you want to say to Don John there, Caleb?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Dungeon. Is there anything in particular that we should be looking at?
You wanted me to bring you here to show you what happened last time, to prove to you why you need to kill the orc.
This is
must.
all to kill the orc.
Because you must kill the orc.
He's committed.
It really
I
is.
was hoping this place would have been more maintained, but I suppose it's harder to power an entire chamber of 100-odd records than it is to sustain a single disembodied life form. Such a pity I miscalculated that. I believe I can restore some of these crystals to sight, but it will take a great deal from me. You should find on the back row of the furthest rack, you should find more or less by themselves the last testimonies of each of us. I can push one into each of you easily enough, but anything beyond that might prove unstable. Choose wisely.
Ooh, so we get to pick who we view?
Yeah, you get to pick whose final moments you view. There are 7 heads and 4 of you. Yeah. Robin, you go to the various wall scones. Most of them are kind of out of order. You can see flickerings of what seem to be almost like little, like, gifts of like the various members just sort of together in various things. You can see one doesn't really have much movement around it, but it's all 7 of them together doing posing for the statue. It flickers inconsistently and is fairly damaged. Some you can are just broken off at various parts. You can't see whose face is where, been just damaged. One does work perfectly though.
Well.
You see an image of Meekless the Small, the little Kenku woman, sitting on top of Soren of Fawn's shoulder, the big, dragonborn paladin. as you approach, the recording loops, and it cuts immediately to a massive corvine eye and beak just sort of peering in at you. The image shakes briefly before settling. The face withdraws, and a small Kenku in green and brown robes runs back towards a massive silver-scaled green dragonborn in partial armor. The Kenku runs to him, and she begins hopping anxiously up and down. With one arm, the dragonborn scoops her onto his shoulder. Together they smile as the recording settles back into its starting image, which is, her on his shoulder smiling, and then it begins to loop again with the eye.
Aw, that's adorable.
Yeah. You get an idea of how some of these things work. You gave a crow a camcorder is what happened here.
Yeah. Wait, what's the paladin's name again?
Soren of Thon. I will type him into the chat. For everyone who is watching to see.
Okay, cool. I actually spelled it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So is there any way to try and see any other memory nodes or crystal nodes or whatever they're called, that are like specifically from like, I guess like investigation files is what I'm kind of looking for, since we have the testimonials from the Blackening victims. Are there any like investigation recordings from the people themselves on a shelf somewhere in here?
You notice that there are various. So the shelves are as follows: there is the testimonies of the Blackening, and then there is one titled the Hydra. It has the fewest the fewest records on it. You gather that would probably be relating to whatever agreements these people had to join and stay on, and stay in with this group. There is the final testimonies, which is in the back, and then there is was probably the largest shelf is known as the there's actually a series of shelves. Actually, it's like 2 or 3 of them. Is called, strangely enough, the Archivist's Collection. And through various sublinks, you gather it's a by date accounting of various deeds and things of the Hydra. Some might be relevant to the Blackening. Others might not.
All right.
As the Hydra had, many responsibilities.
Yeah. Robin is going to kind of look over these shelves, gravitate towards them, and they're going to call out to Torren to ask, "Hey, Torren, does Don John remember the dates when the Blackening kind of started so I can narrow down my search?"
Don John, do you remember the dates of when the Blackening started so that they can narrow down their search?
I suppose it would be somewhere in almost all of these. It was some years into the founding. The Venzor had been discovered for not a long time, but some time before we were formed. And afterwards, it was some time before our purpose was fully revealed to us by. And you just kind of feel a glance over towards the corpse of the dragon. So he's just, I can power up any of these you like. However, again, I advise you, the more we do, the more dangerous it becomes. I would suggest starting at the end and working towards the beginning. We had the most information then.
Hmm.
But you may ask for whatever you wish. I will try to show it to you. So, what do you guys ask for from him?
Well, I'm waiting for the how Caleb interprets this.
Oh yes, of course.
I'm pretty straightforward.
this-
I'm pretty straightforward with this one, so I relay it almost exactly.
Okay.
I don't fuck around. Not this time.
Okay.
A little too serious for that.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, playtime's over.
All right. Robin will take this into account and go towards the end. Are they just labeled with dates?
They are labeled with various dates. You notice that occasionally a group of them will have like sort of like etched in a little bit under it. Like some might say, like if there's a cluster that are by the same person, some might say like Miklos
Mm-hmm.
or Tyrell.
Okay. I guess I will.
But like one of the other names, yeah, Tyrell, yeah.
Okay.
Ah,
I will start towards the end, and I will look for one that's towards the end that seems the brightest. I'll do that. That seems to be the most comprehensive of them, that might have more images, that's not just a little gift set.
Sure. You're able to find one. It's not entirely dark.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't appear to be, operating at full power.
Okay.
Um,
Is there any way that I can increase the power for these? Kind of like charging a battery or something like that.
You rolled pretty well last week for understanding what these are.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they're powered by magic. So, it's entirely possible that you might be able to give it some.
I will attempt to do so.
All right. So, do you attempt to like pour yourself into this crystal?
That sounds incredibly dangerous. Is there any way that I can do something that doesn't sound like I'm giving my life force to the crystal?
Well, in you could argue magic is life force. So in the way you are, in game mechanics terms, how many spell slots do you punch into this thing?
Let's see. I have
All of them.
No. I have a total of 7 spell slots. So I will do 2 spell slots.
All right. You do 2 spell slots. It begins to glow very brightly for a moment. And you are the matrix appears to be generally unstable. This is a new influx of magic here, but you're able to pull yourself into it.
Okay.
You see you see a what's the word for it? Not a map per se, but almost a collage. Like someone took out their memories at various waypoints and pumped them into this thing. you see you see a ship that is upside down. Then you see a familiar tree, massive, in a clearing. No leaves on any of its branches.
Hmm.
You see it clearer than you did in the other one. You can see the surroundings a little better. It's the rest of the glade is evergreen trees.
Mm.
Then you have the smell of sulfur at a point where two rivers converge.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Where two what emerge?
Rivers converge. Two rivers. Two rivers converge. Then you see a sort of like almost like stone that like hangs over the river. And then a forest filled with just the most beautiful flowers you've ever seen.
They don't talk, do they?
You don't know. And from there, you see an ominous sort of dark burrow in the ground. You're able to gather from the information laid in here that this is the way to Garen's Well.
You spell his name for me, please.
Certainly. One moment. So it is Garen's Well.
My roll 20's being stupid.
Yeah. Sorry, I
I
put it
can't
in
see the last line.
Garen apostrophe S Well.
Garen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I love the irony of you people like ending up naming yourselves things very similar to stuff that already is made into the world.
What do you mean,
Yeah.
you people?
Torren, Temerin, Garen, Gareth. It just happened.
I didn't even plan that. Yeah, I didn't plan that one.
None of
my
you knew what
gosh.
it was, and it just happened.
Good luck finding
Garen
someone.
can be Torren's and Gareth's ship name. They already have a well. We just gotta put a little ship on top of it.
Yeah.
We're really becoming Full House here, ain't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's so fascinating. Do I get sense anything else from this?
You sense that this was you sense there's a sense of general worry and foreboding. You get the sense that, like, whoever made this was preparing an expedition. Like, you know, like this was like the build up to whatever happened at the end. Yeah. And they left behind little wayfinders or whatever because, you know, you're planning an expedition. You got to know where you're gonna go.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay, cool. All right. Then I'm gonna put that. Am I taken out of the crystal now?
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're out of the crystal. Yeah, you're out of the crystal. The montage has ended.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
much
a couple crystals down to after the expedition to
Alright.
see what happened.
All right, so you're gonna go there. All right. These ones are dark. Too. How many spells do you give them?
How dark are they?
They're all pretty purple. pretty much purple at this point.
Alrighty. Did it seem like 2 spell slots was like too much or the right amount for the other one that I did?
2 spell slots got it working, but it didn't quite feel fully linked together like the others. Like everything else has been a continuous flow of memory, and with the 2 spell slots, it was kind of, jumping from links in a chain.
Okay.
You're
okay.
not you're not entirely sure that was intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put 3 spell slots into this one.
All right, you put 3 spell slots into this next one. All right, and let's see. What do you find? What do you find? What do you find on this one today?
Information, preferably helpful ones.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, you don't know how good you just got there.
Yay!
I've been putting percentile dice on these for what
Okay.
comes
Oh
of
shit!
them. You just got the 97th percentile.
Woohoo!
When
I take a test.
Yeah. So this one, you see a dark-skinned bald man, tattooed head, red robes.
Sounds awesome.
This is, of course, a red wizard of Thay, undoubtedly Tyrell Tunder. He moves counterclockwise around a circle of salt.
Okay.
You can sense that you are moving clockwise towards him, and as the 2 of you pass, a third figure, yellow-skinned Githyanki, and pushes forward and begins to press into the circle, like sort of almost like pushing through like a sanctuary type barrier.
Oh, okay.
Moves his hands through it and enters into the middle, and together you begin a series of chants, which you are actually able to make out the words of.
Ooh.
And the 3 of you together, which you now gather to be that you are Mother Ethel once again.
Yo!
In the presence
Yeah,
of Shavin the Cruel and Tyrell Tunder, you 3 are able to put together the beginnings of a major containment ritual. You see all sorts of magic going off, druidic runes, necrotic runes, something that just seems completely alien.
Nice.
In itself, almost just almost unnatural, and excuse me, it's just something, just from the abyss of the void itself, and its runes begin to appear on the floor, woven patterns begin to weave, and it appears to be a massive combined art of magic. It's somewhere between containment and banishment. These people appear to be simultaneously creating a pocket dimension, trapping something in it, and preserving it forever. The ritual goes on for about a minute, when you notice that some of the runes begin to flicker and short out. There's a desperate attempt to stabilize it, followed by shouting, and there is a brief explosion. You are thrown back. There's white noise. Can I get a intelligence saving throw from you, Rune?
You just call me Rune.
Yeah, can I get intelligence saving throw?
You're now for Rune?
Yeah, no.
For Robin?
For Robin.
Okay.
Robin. You're going to be playing as Rune in a moment if you fail.
Okay,
Oh,
you just called me Rune, so I was like, shit, is my bat with me? Okay, intelligence saving throw.
Yeah.
Ooh, don't lose
For
this
Robin, if you fail, you might end up in this room.
17.
17.
I'm a
You're
pussy.
fine. You are not thrown out of the vision. You do not take psychic damage, and you do not suffer brain death.
Yay!
one. Oof.
Love when that happens.
In the aftermath, you come to everything's kind of sideways. You're on the floor. You pull yourself up. There's fire and smoke and just people just stamping things out as the ritual, the simulated ritual has failed. Everyone seems merciful, right? Although there is just sort of dark blood dripping down like the front of your face. Just cuts and bruises, more a shock than anything else. You can see the remnants of the magic still active, but whatever it is, it seems incomplete. Whatever this spell was, which was a very elaborate spell that you now know. You now have a partial ritual. What? Let's see what they call it. It's a what was it called? Come here. It's in the physical stuff. Oops. Yes, you have a partial ritual of antithesis.
Okay.
Antithesis, interesting.
Yep. You gather it was probably missing something. After a moment or two of looking around, just sort of coming to seeing just the after effects of the warped and twisted tiles and just seeing everyone's okay, you are released from the crystal.
Okay.
Surprisingly, Robin, your passive intelligence modifier and the fact that you didn't get too hurt in that explosion, you notice that there were 4 great mages on the Hydra of Syrax. But only 3 of them were down there.
Okay. Yeah, where was Don John?
You don't know.
All right. Where is Torren? Is he
Torren,
near me?
Torren, where are you in the room?
I'm nearby, just chilling.
Nearby. Cool. So Robin's gonna wave you over. And is gonna go. You already got the phone up?
I already know.
You already know. Okay. So here's the thing. I just looked at a ritual that was taking place that seems to be for confinement or banishment, I assume for the Blackening. And 3 mages were there, but there was no Don John. Why was Don John not there to perform the ritual? It's probably why it failed. You only had 3 mages instead of 4. Now, do we think this is too sus to ask him about it? Or should we ask? I'm asking Torren about his opinion.
I'm pretty sure it is on speaker. I think he heard on it.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, hopefully he gives us an answer then. As
yes,
Robin fumbles a little bit, forgetting that Don John can hear everything that Torren can hear.
The Hydra consisted of highly competent and highly competitive individuals. The greatest of their fields, the greatest of the Isle. Not all of us worked together in all things. The chance to cut corners, take glory for oneself, or even the simple belief that you do not need any other was quite prevalent for much of our organization's history. It didn't help that we were often dispatched alone or in small fragments to deal with the various issues of the island. Suffice to say, I was not present. Either those there thought they could achieve success without me, ludicrous as it is, or my time was demanded elsewhere. We may have been fighting the Blackening, but appearance's sake was worth more than any success.
Insight check. I would like to see if he's being honest.
Insight check.
I was about
Go,
to say, yeah.
go for it. Torren, you got
Oh, the best roll I got all night. That is a 24.
So what is true is that these are all highly competitive individuals. They did not always get along. They were often, sent out in various small groups or various times, doing multiple things at once. That's all true. However, at the point in time in which Robin has viewed, which is near the end, most of that would have been resolved. There's something more going on here than just I was away, or they thought they had a solution that didn't require my expertise. There's definitely something more. There is definitely a lingering, almost vindicated sense of distrust that you get. He told no explicit lie, but he may have fudged the timeline.
I'll keep that one to myself for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. As I say, I think Robin also has, if you say word for word what he said, a little distrust of that, since it is down the timeline, and this seems something that's rather too important to have a sort of fame with it, to be like the only one who stopped it. As the Hydra was band together, they're known together. So I think Robin is going to still find Don John a little sus for why he wasn't there, and the way that he's talking about his companions.
Yep.
Robin is going to ask, so then can you tell me what you know about the ritual of antithesis? As it was mentioned.
Before I answer, I will say one thing is, like, you do know that becoming a member of the Hydra, like, the prerequisite was, like, you were already a great being in your own right,
Yeah.
is one of the prerequisites. Like, there is that too, of just, I'm the best there's ever been bullshit. Like, that that was a real part of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like, again, that's something to it. But I feel like because I'm looking at what's towards the end, where that real threat is,
Yeah.
and that this was like it's kind of an all or nothing attempt to do this, that it seems weird that you would not kind of gather all of the mages. And that's not even gathering all of the Hydra people, that's just gathering all of the mages in an attempt to do something. So if it feels rather odd to me that they would do this. And based on the other memories I've seen, kind of seems like Don John is the hoitiest of all of them.
I would say,
a little sus.
I would say, as a character, Don John is quite literally that kid in high school who has to know it all. Otherwise, what use is he to anyone or anything else? It is his entire personality. So the idea that somebody might accomplish something without him, like something like that, like solve an existential threat without him, or not do his plan at all, he wouldn't even have attempted to try it. So it's either he thought it was already going to fail, because either A, he wasn't going to be a part of it, that's why he was going to fail, or B, he thought it was going to fail regardless whether or not he would be there or not.
Yeah.
Or C, he just thought it was stupid because he didn't come up with the idea.
Yeah.
It is pride.
Yep.
Pride
And,
makes people not come together because they want to do it, and if they don't do it their way, it's the highway. Then he'd rather let the world go to hell than not be the one who gets the credit.
I feel like if it was maybe like one person doing this, or like two people doing this, or like one person and like underlings doing it, I think maybe I could have believed what Don John said. However, it was 3 of the 4 mages all working together.
Yep. As
In
you know,
order to do-
Hogwarts was founded by 4 houses. 3 of them got along quite well. 1 did not.
He's the
But-
Salazar Slytherin of the mages. I can.
Oh, suddenly you like him more.
No, I actually don't like Salazar Slytherin. I just like Slytherin house because it's my house.
Anyway,
Of course it is.
in answer to Robin's question
Mhm.
about what the ritual is, it was like it was a solution, failed, sabotaged, destroyed.
Sabotaged by who?
It is better to show you than to tell it. And Torren, you feel the sort of internal gaze that is Don John within you turn towards that final rack of 7 crystals.
I would touch the first one.
They are all
Whichever one's first.
so they are all unpowered, and he tells you to each take one and bring it to the table. Each one is labeled under it with the name of a member of the Hydra, including Don John.
Let's grab Don John's first.
Yeah, I want someone who's not Don John because I get a pretty good insight as to who he is. I'd rather have not Don John to contrast.
So I will.
Don John squared.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna copy and paste into the chat the 7 options that you have. You can choose any name from this list. These are the 7 heads of the Hydra.
Dibs on Don John.
All right. So, Gareth is sticking to Don John Zaman. All right. Who else would you guys like to take off? Or you can do it one at a time and see where you want to go from there, depending on what is revealed.
I will do Siobhan the Cruel.
All right, Chavin the Cruel.
Oh,
it's
that is
Cruel,
then. That is a copy paste error.
Womp womp. Yes,
I
I want to
like
see the Cruel
Corral.
one.
What about you, Gwen?
I'm gonna do Tyrell, but I would like to reserve Mother Ethel as something that I want to try to activate myself. Because
plan on
I am
doing-
weary of Don John altering the crystals.
Yes. So Don John said that like 1 per person and any more might be dangerous.
Yeah,
I
he can
plan-
activate 1 for each of you, but any more would be dangerous for him.
Yeah, I definitely am going to do. I plan on doing Mother Ethel as well. So if you want to do Tyrell, I planned on picking up Ethel.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right,
I
so-
was gonna do Tyrell. I'll pick someone else then to try to do on my own, not from him. But so okay,
Alright.
yeah. I'll
Why
pick
not?
Tyrell.
Why not go for Cordy and Dacios? That was like his friend.
Well, because we
arguably.
can only choose one right now.
Oh no, I was just saying like
You can.
that might
you
have been a
can-
good one too.
Yeah, you can try and activate some yourself. You could ask him to activate more. He just said more is dangerous.
I'll just do one right now.
All right, so we're gonna lead off. All right, so the final 4 that have been chosen are Chavin, are Don John, Chavin, Tyrell, and Ethel. Who would like to have theirs activated first?
I'll go first.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Don
say
John
he
first.
seems really into it. He can go first.
All
Don
right,
John for sure.
Don John's first. All right. All right.
Dun, 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 dun,
All right.
dun, dun.
He there's a deep sigh that is shared by by Torren. As Don John begins, he seems disappointed in your choice, but
Why? Why? What's wrong, buddy? I want to
Almost,
see what's your stuff.
almost dreading going back into this. So he activates the crystal, and you are pulled in, Gareth.
Whoa!
Tyrell turns to you. A hideous, gaunt, skinless skeleton. He collapses, and you are left alone with the dim glow of the runes, shaken but alive. You see the rest of them. Each of your friends dead in some new, horrible way. Dark whiffs streak and fade from you as you run towards one in particular. You clutch Cordian's head in your lap. He whispers to you, but the words are without meaning. You reply, watching shadows dance the echoes of your movements as you caress him. You take his shield and his sword, knowing that you have not yet succeeded, and that not even death must be allowed to intervene. And, you are returned.
Oof. I think that was the death scene he was talking about. Did I recognize the words that he spoke? Or
No,
was it
the
just kind of
words
like
were
muffled?
unfortunately. It was muffled. It was without. There were words without meaning. You couldn't understand it. There appeared to at that point, be you could see the runes, you could see the people dying, but there seemed to be no light, no sound. It's as if those very concepts had ceased to exist.
Can I make it? Can I make?
You can roll an Arcana check. You can roll an Insight check to see if this has been tampered with, if that's where you're thinking.
I wanted to do an insight check on where I was, or is that more of an investigation?
I'd say that would be a history check to understand, where you were, where the location you were in.
Okay, I'll do a history check because if it's where I'm thinking I was at, then yeah. Because I'm also interested in the runes, as if like there were like a ritual or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there were ritualistic runes on the floor. What'd you get for me?
14. Flat.
14. Hard to say. You're not really sure where exactly you were, but you're smart enough that to gather with the context, somewhere within Garen's Well. Given what Robin and others have gathered of things.
Okay.
Somewhere within Garen's Well, this took place.
So he's been there. So that's where it all happened then.
Mm-hmm.
I relay the information to the others.
All right.
I have a question.
Yep, go
Colin.
for it. Yep, go for it. Yep.
I haven't experienced this personally, but can I do some sort of insight or intelligence check to see if Don John had symptoms of the blackening? Because it kind of sounds like he might be suffering from side effects, or he was the one to actually sabotage. I don't trust him. I feel like something else is going on.
You don't trust him. I say I'm gonna call an Arcana check. We'll give you the most information, trying to suss things out, like what's going on here.
The call was coming from inside the house the entire time.
The traitor.
Okay, but that's legitimately what I feel like.
The wolves are within the walls this time, Mr. Potter.
16.
16.
I mean, he wouldn't necessarily, because again, crazy people don't know they're crazy. So if he doesn't know that he's gone insane, it's a possibility.
Because he was inside a jar. You know, I feel like that could
Yeah.
alter some things.
Yeah. Anyway, 16 on the Arcana check. You're able to gather a couple of things right here. Number one, he's doing about the same thing you were doing, only with probably a lot better and with a lot more success to it. Either from experience or different amounts of spell slots for specific spells. You're not sure, but he's doing it a lot better. The way he's doing it does not appear to tamper with anything any more than what you did, and he does not. He has not shown symptoms of the blackening in what was described to you, at least not as far as you understand them. As your only real reference at this point is unfortunately Rockchild.
Okay.
Who is colorblind?
Yeah. Who is colorblind and was beginning to lose the ability to feel heat.
Hey, at least I don't see color, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's like he does not appear symptomatic from what you understand, and he does not appear to be, like, covering for a symptom from what you understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Who would like to go
Still have
next?
this sense of distrust.
Yeah. Who would like to be the next open the next one?
If no one else wants to go, I can do it unless someone else wants to go, and then they can go ahead.
I'll go.
All right. And which one was yours? Was Rock's?
I wanted Siobhan the Cruel.
All right, Chauvin the Cruel. Here we go.
I still like Cruel more.
Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil, if she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will.
Yep. All right. You the crystal is booted up for you. And I presume you grab onto it, Rockchild.
Yeah.
You laugh. The blackening is a greater power than you ever imagined. Feeling it course through you, the power seems so perfectly right.
Oh.
You turn back to the others within the circle. Terrell and Don John. This is real power. True divinity. Immortal. Primal. Infinite. This is more than any paltry god of Venzor. Your hair turns to black tendrils floating in the non-existent wind. You extend a radiant, golden-hued hand and take what is yours. The crystal ends.
Ooh.
So the one that's infected with the blackening got the one that's infected with the blackening. I like that.
So can I, after watching that and hearing him talk about the power that comes with the blackening, can I like try to access it in my mind?
Oh God, what did I miss?
Terrible idea.
Roll me a what is this gonna be? Roll me just a general wisdom check. Just click the word wisdom.
Are you telling me, Rock, I leave for like a few minutes and Rock discovers the power of the dark side?
Yes.
God damn it. This
You
is what
rolled a
happens when I
10. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. You
Why does it have a +1, -1?
That is a great
my
question.
modifier is technically a -1, but I believe because of one of the feats I took, it gives me a +1 proficiency to it.
Oh wow.
I think is how that worked out.
Yeah, I think I think there's something in the math where, like, he's got a negative number or whatever, but then he's got a positive, like, bonus or
Modifier,
whatever. Yeah. So it's like, basically his wisdom is 9, but he's got, an object that says +1 to wisdom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. So yeah, 10. you look deep within yourself to the inner recesses of your psyche, your soul, whatever it is. Look past the music, the words, the sounds, all that noise. In the cold, blinding recesses, there is some stirring of power. You can't quite touch it, but it's there, and it hungers to be a part of you.
Is there a way I can surrender myself to it, or like try to beg
God
it to...
damn it!
Rockshot, no, you can try some more later,
God
probably.
damn it! Justin!
Rockshot is gonna surrender himself. I told you, you need to kill the orc.
The
I've been
prophecy.
telling you, I saw this betrayal be coming before even he did.
I mean, I saw it coming, but at the same time, I was like, he wouldn't just kill the entire party and throw us under the bus. I had more faith in you,
yeah.
Justin. I should have.
You
Well,
played an entire game with him when he was Eldris, and look what happened.
He said he learned from his mistakes.
The only one
Justin
who learned
learning
from it is
anything?
me.
Justin learning from his
totally
mistakes
fair.
is expecting a mouse to be able to fly.
That
Anyway, as Rockchild continues to search his own self for power, who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
So I
Hey,
need to
Torren, you
roll
want to kill the
anything?
orc?
All right, all right.
You guys have no
John?
idea that I'm doing this.
Yeah, Don John. Yeah, he just becomes a bit, quieter after he does it. Don John
He
boots
starts
up
humming
your.
pumped up kicks.
Boots up the. Don John boots up the. Was it the Crystal of Tyrell Thunder for you, right, Robin?
Yes, Tyrell Thunder.
Tyrell Thunder. All right. Your arms outstretched into the abyss, pushing it away and being pulled with it. The figures of your friends have long since vanished. You stand alone with only the shadow of the gnome standing at some distance beside you. You can see your hands and forearms wither and rot into skeletons. You would recoil. You would scream. But the rituals are nearly complete and cannot be stopped now. The runes glow beneath you. Their light pierces the darkness, and like a great shield wall forces it back. The darkness vanishes. You are left to stare at the gore that was your friends. Your skin pulls too tight against your skull. You live just long enough to understand the horror of your fate before you collapse into dust, robes, and bone. And you are ejected from the crystal.
And I have to do a wisdom save for that? Damn.
Nope. Surprisingly, Don John is very good at manipulating these. At least the first time round.
Yes. Damn, okay. So there is a sacrifice that needs to be made for this ritual. It takes a lot out of people.
Yeah, it takes a lot. You also would gather, assuming that what happened to Chavin was and all relayed to anyone. Yeah, that the ritual, everyone simultaneously died and also somehow, at least partially succeeded.
Okay.
Is Chavin betrayed them. It's so much fun.
Alrighty. Interesting. Okay.
I believe the last one we have is for Torren.
Is
Yes.
Rockchild gonna relay anything that they saw in the...
Well, I'm imagining that we're all going one by one, no? Or are we having conversations before and after?
Yeah. You're all going one by one. If there's, basically, if if you want to do anything like, Rockchild looked at, tried to access the darkness in himself, if you want to do anything between each of these, you are more than welcome to. It's just everyone goes one at a time. Like
Yeah.
you're not all for diving in at the same time and then popping out together.
Yeah.
It's a sequential thing.
Yeah, because Don John has to activate them. I don't think he can activate them all at once.
Yeah.
I was just gonna wait for everyone to do their thing though.
Okay.
Talk.
All right. So last one, at least from the safe set. Torren, you're about to go into Mother Ethel, correct?
That is correct.
She
Alright.
is awesome.
Things have gone wrong. Your friends are dying, but you cannot move. You must not move. You hold the rituals in place. You are the anchor of this magic. So, you watch them die. One after another. The only equals you ever had in the world. You were never leaving here alive. You knew that. Took such great pains to keep that fact hidden from the rest of them. But watching the others die feels just so unfair. Your arms buckle as your spell drains the life from you. Your face touches stone, and you stare into Soren's clouded reptilian eyes. And Torren, you are ejected from the crystal. Having witnessed the final moments of everyone of the people in it.
I relay that to the party. Does anything interesting happen as we are all talking about the shit we just saw? Wink, wink.
Yeah, I'm gonna relay everything that I saw as well to everyone.
So, you guys, we all had quite the experience there, huh?
I hate that the
What was
traitor
your
got
experience?
Well, yeah, he had the blackening
I believe
too.
Don John has made some very good points
No,
today.
Gareth, please. Apparently, Siobhan also had the blackening. When I went into
Chauvin?
Siobhan, yes.
Chauvin.
Suddenly he's French.
Exactly.
Oh, bonjour!
You don't know that.
Well, there's a side effect of the blackening. You now speak with a French accent.
Oh no, that is
And a shitty one at that.
quite a prédicament. Nous allons. Yeah. So I will just relay that one of them was infected with the blackening and used it for the source of his power.
Gee, I sure hope no one else would ever do such a thing.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous, Gareth. Come on.
And irresponsible.
Rob is just gonna go, "What's an idiot? It's gonna consume you anyways. Why would you give in to that?"
I never said I was giving into it.
I'm talking about Chauvin.
Sorry, force a habit. It's a
Yeah.
force a habit for him.
Force a habit, sorry. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Rob is gonna look at you very weirdly, like, what?
So strange that so much fuss should be made over so small a thing.
Right,
Boromir in
right.
the ring. Just Boromir in the ring.
Yep.
After all, why not?
But
Why
I
shouldn't they
think
keep
he
it?
was able to ascertain a great deal of power from it. So I wonder if it could potentially be harnessed. and utilized.
That seems like an absolutely ridiculously stupid idea. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm trying to be so nice. But you think that an instinctual, all consuming, basically fungi black hole thing can be tamed by a mortal being?
Well, that
Oh,
or,
goodness.
potentially we can rouse the Ascendant 9 and see if we can wage a war against it.
You already said one of them doesn't respond to things. We think one of them is dead and another one is infected. I don't know if that is a solid plan.
Have we tried praying it away?
I tried to pray the gay away, but here we are.
You're the
Aren't you
straightest out of
straight?
all of us.
Exactly.
He
It's
tried
a
to
miracle.
He tried to pray the straight away, is what he tried to do. He
I
wants
was about to
feel
say, have I
included.
become the straightest person here?
I don't know.
Unfortunately, not.
You are playing an androgynous character, so
Because it's
Tone
super
is
fun
fun.
to play things you aren't. My
Yeah,
next
so-
character is gonna be great.
Oh no, I have to play someone who's normal. I'm sad now.
Well, see, that's less fun. You're just too fun. You should.
I'm sad.
You get to play yourself, but I want to play things that are different.
But yeah, I'm not sure why Siobhan did that, but
Kill the orc. Orc.
I
Kill
mean,
the
I
orc,
think
kill
he
the
did
orc,
it for
kill the
wealth,
orc.
money, fame, and power.
so kind of
Old
question.
Roger had all these things and more.
But yeah, what about y'all? What did everyone else see? Because that couldn't have been the weirdest experience.
I felt
watched everyone die.
tightening and dying.
Oh. And you, Torren?
Well, Ethel, all the friends died. She was the anchor for the ritual, and she knew that everyone would die, but didn't tell anyone, and then she died looking at Soren.
So she.
Man, that
would-
Dragonborn was quite popular with the ladies. Is anyone else noticing this?
Those bloody dragonborns, they're beautiful.
I would make one addendum to what you relayed, Caleb. She
was
knew
that?
she would die.
Yeah.
And then she watched everyone else die. That's one distinction to make. She didn't know they would all die. She knew that she would.
And then she died at the end, correct?
Yeah, and she died. Yeah,
Yes.
she
Yes,
died before
that-
it was over. Yeah.
Yes, that beautiful dragonborn Soren. I heard that he was a bit of a bad dragon in the bedroom.
I am killing all of you at some point.
I didn't do anything.
Did you say this to the child?
This Don John in
Yes.
your head, Don John. I'm killing him.
What have I done to Don John?
You're
Kill
the
the
one who
orc.
released him from the
Kill the
jar.
orc. Orc.
So what would have happened if he would have gone to me? Would he have just tried to make me commit suicide consistently?
Didn't
You
you get
don't know.
infected after we
Yeah, you
got
got
Don
infected.
John?
You would have gotten infected after we had Don John.
What
So
if
then
Don
Don
John-
John would be trapped with the blackening in my head.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
Or he
Well,
may have
remember,
taken you
it-
over so you didn't get the blackening.
Well, the blackening did attempt to touch Torren,
Yeah.
and it didn't seem to take.
Mm.
Who knows why that was? Maybe it's just because Torren can actually make his saving throws.
Hey now.
Who knows?
Okay.
I'm so salty. Don
That
John's
seems
gonna look
fine.
at you all and go, "There is some risk, but I suppose I could show you the remaining 3.
Sure.
Depending
Why
what
not?
pieces of the puzzle there are."
I
And
am
I-
going to try to activate Soren of
Thon.
don't know how to say that. Thon. Myself.
All right. How many spells do you pump into it?
I believe I have 2 spell slots left. But can I take a point of exhaustion and add a 3rd one there?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say you can. I'll say gathering from your previous experience with 2 versus 3 spell slots.
Mm-hmm.
Now these are like 2 first level spell slots.
These would be
Correct.
2 second level spell slots.
2 second level. Okay. You were using
Yeah.
first level before, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah. 2 second level spell slots. Well, you gather it. 2 second level slots might be enough.
Okay.
Probably do better than like 2 first level spell slots. But let's see what happens. Let's see, it's technically a total of You are just barely able to get it working. To function fully, and you are pulled right in on Soren of Thon.
Mm-hmm.
Motes of inverted light float around you. They are the uncoordinated dance of spores on a gentle breeze. The room has grown dark. You can no longer see into the ritual circle. The mages have all disappeared, have all been swallowed by it. It pulses. You know, something has gone wrong. You know the shadows are alive. You speak a warning, but you feel wind in your throat. No sound is made as the world is tilted backwards, past the ceiling, down to the floor. The soft thud of your dismembered head is followed by the heavy impact of your body, and Miklas screaming. Intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Ooh.
17.
You do not suffer. You do not suffer ill effects.
8.
All right.
All right, who do we have left?
Miklas the Small and Cordian Dacios.
I'll do.
Cordian Dacios.
I will do Dacios.
All right. Don John begins to activate it, and you are given the following image. Soren tumbles, lifeless, to the ground. Miklas follows her instincts, and you follow yours. Leaping over the barrier, something you were expressly warned not to do, you draw your gleaming dragon blade and stand ready to face any challenge that would dare face you. A mote of utter black flies through your shield and burns a hole in your chest. More begin to swarm you. You cut them with your blade, only to watch them multiply. You cannot reach the mages. You can't even see them. And eventually, you are brought low by your wounds. You gasp and sputter. A burnt, bloody wreck as the darkness recedes. Please make an intelligence saving throw.
That's pretty good for me if it's a 16.
You suffer no ill effects.
All right.
There is one crystal left.
I don't want to You all to feel not well, so I will do this as well.
Are you sure?
It's saying I am old man.
I can do it. I'm pretty good at
Absolutely not.
doing.
You are a child. No. You have
But
it all
I've
when I
already
carry you.
experienced 2 deaths. I want to see some interesting stuff.
That's not normal for a child to say, I think. So
I would tell
That
you
I
all-
don't want to experience a death without learning something interesting.
I will.
the
I
fact
will
that
do-
you've experienced death already.
I will go a third time. 'cause
We're
I
all
don't want
experiencing
the
death right
cursed-
now.
I don't want the cursed orc, the child, or the other one to suffer any ill effects.
Here's just
Wow.
the other one.
Wow.
He has a name. He's Blue Kenny.
Yeah, what's it? What's his face? You know, the half orc, like the not cool one.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Fucking.
totally writing this down in my journal.
You know what,
The-
Aaron? You just wound up on the burn book, okay?
Oh no, I meant Gareth. Gareth is
Oh,
saying.
I was about to say, I hope Gareth is saying this, that he's writing it down in his journal.
There's just subtext that keeps appearing. Gareth will remember you did this. Gareth will remember you did this. Like just like 15 notifications.
Gareth is considering killing the orc and listening to Donjon.
Yeah. All right, so Torren, you're going back in.
I am.
All right, it powers up. You go into Miklos the Small. Your small legs run beneath you. You try to reach the door. You need to reach the door. Sharp jolt stings your backside. You tumble. You look up. Dazed. In an instant, the door descends from the ceiling towards you. And you are ejected from the crystal. Please roll an intelligence saving throw.
Oof. That's only a 9.
All right.
Use your inspiration.
Ooh, I would, but I do not have it.
Oh.
So now
This
we get
is
to learn
your-
what.
All right, this is your third crystal for the day, right?
This is my 3rd crystal.
3d20 damage.
Nope.
I don't say that.
You take 10 points of psychic damage and have the sensation of your chest being absolutely flattened by a slab of stone.
Oh.
10 points of psychic. Yeah. Fun fact: how these work is after the first one that you power up, or like it's powered up by a professional. Donjon shields you from the first one, but it's 1d6 for every single one you've been in.
Oh shit! If I had failed mine.
Yeah, when you fail, Donjon can shield you from it, but when you fail, it's 1d6 for every crystal you've been in today. The
This
crystal
is
has
still the
to
same
contain-
day as last day, so would that have been 4 for me or 5?
You
Yeah,
had
5.
Ethel. You had Ethel's. You had the first recording of the first testimony. You had the 2 from before, from the from that were the 2 research. Then you had Tyrell Tunders,
Yeah.
which
And then I
Donjon
had-
showed. And then you had and then you went and did Soren of Thon yourself. So if you had failed Soren of Thon, 66 psychic damage. Now that it's happened, I feel okay explaining the danger to you. Donjon could shield you for his first one. He could shield you.
Yeah.
But, if you suffer something traumatic, it's 1d6 for every one you've been in.
I love that. I would be so fucking screwed if I did not have my modifier.
Yeah, you get a +5 to it.
Yeah. So I was pretty confident I'd be okay.
Yeah, it's just like but you roll bad once, and it's like, here's 10d6.
Yes. Let me shove all this dice into my hands to roll damage.
Yeah. But yeah, you for better or worse, you all survived that. Rockchild, can I get another wisdom from you?
Oh, look what
I
you
presume
got.
you are still looking into the recesses of your soul.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Good job. Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Yes.
What was
You're
once
scared.
a sort of fall, almost like a small wave, just sort of curling up over itself and rolling back into the sea. Stretches, bends, works itself into a shape. Humanoid, veiny, and it flows. You can feel it through your heart, through your blood vessels. You have willingly accessed the Blackening and made yourself a part of it. But behind you, there is a heavy sound of bone scraping on stone. And that is where we're going to leave off.
Oh no.
God damn it, Justin.
What?
We are so fucking screwed.
Hey, no.
We're gonna have to kill Justin, aren't we? We really are gonna have to kill
Kill
him.
Rockchild.
Yeah.
Probably.
No.
It was fairly curable before.
Yeah, way to go, Justin. You're killing your character.
To be fair, the bone thing was going to happen regardless of what